sex, I would use a condom. Now, perhaps I'm too embarrassed to get them in my local pharmacy, but what students need to know is that condoms are readily available through numerous options like Planned Parenthood, HIV centers, online, and more, which my partner will discuss. However, the negative will explain why condoms cannot be made available in school. Good morning, teachers, students, and judges. My name is Elana, and my partner, Robert Bonacia, and I are pleased to speak on behalf of the negative opposition. It is resolved that all public secondary schools should devise and enact a plan to make condoms readily available to its students. The need for change is condoms being made readily available in school, not condoms just being readily available. The negative firmly believes that all public secondary schools should not devise and enact a plan to make condoms readily available because 1, it normalizes and encourages sex at a younger age, 2, conflicts with government's position and laws, and 3, violates taxpayers' rights. Some terms we would like to define are secondary school, a school that is intermediate in level between elementary school and college and that usually offers general, technical, vocational, or college preparatory curricula. It typically begins at ages 11 and 13 and ends by ages 15 to 18, the United States Legal Dictionary. As our definition is from a dictionary versus your organization, it is more credible and should be accepted. Public school. A free tax-supported school controlled by a governmental authority. Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Readily, in a prompt, timely manner. The Free Dictionary. Available. Capable of being gotten, obtainable. Contention 1. Normalizes and encourages sex at a younger age. The average age of a child starting secondary school is 11. The average age of a first kiss for girls is 14, according to a nationwide survey by Close Up Toothpaste. Condom distribution sanctions sexual activity, which in teen years is considered to be promiscuous, and rightfully so. Having condoms readily available in a public school normalizes and endorses sex, safe sex, which nevertheless is still sex. With condoms present, the topic of sex will occur more frequently and increases the peer pressure on having sex. Sexual activity becomes something considered fine. AdHealth data shows that teens who abstain from sex during high school years are 60% less likely to be expelled from schools, 50% less likely to drop out of school, and twice as likely to attend and graduate college. The American Psychological Association reports that a majority of parents agree that it sends a negative message out to impressionable teenagers that being sexually active is socially acceptable and even expected. Having a condom is safer than not having one at all, but it promotes a false sense of security. Condoms do not prevent all new cases of sexually transmitted diseases such as herpes, hepatitis C, syphilis, and human papillomavirus. HPV and herpes can especially be transmitted even with condom usage because lesions may be present at other parts of the genital area besides the tissue that is protected by a condom. Contention 2. Conflicts with the government's laws and position. A public school is a public institution. A public institution is representing the government, which is supposed to be neutral and fair towards religion. Presenting a policy that is contrary to some citizens' religions is violating fundamental principles of fairness. By giving students access to condoms and encouraging their use, public schools are interfering with the important religious beliefs of students and their families. It is fine to provide information about condoms and where to get them, but it is not okay for a public institution to be representing a side. The First Amendment states, Congress shall make no laws respecting an establishment of religion. The principles of separation of church and state keep religion out of the public school system. Making condom readily available is a display against many religions. Additionally, all 50 states have laws about statutory rape. Statutory rape laws are based on the premise that until a person reaches a certain age, that individual is legally incapable of consenting to sexual intercourse. Thus, the law assumes even if he or she willingly engages in sexual congress, the sex is not consensual. The age of consent is set by each state and used to enforce statutory rape laws. Currently, each state requires a minimum age of consent at 16 and no older than 18. Varying from state to state, age provisions generally do not incriminate the sexual participants if the younger is within 3 years of age of the elder. Sexual contact while under the age of consent is not legal in many states. In California, if two minors have sex with each other, they are both guilty of engaging in unlawful sex and with the other person. Making condoms readily available is not only promoting, but facilitating the breaking of the laws. Contention 3, violates taxpayers' rights. As a public institution, public schools are supported by the government and the taxpayers. It is wrong for taxpayers to be forced to financially support a program they consider morally objectionable. Not only does it disagree with the funding of programs clearly against some citizens' religious beliefs, but places schools as a moral authority. It is a parent's fundamental right to remain free from unnecessary governmental interference with child rearing. In the 1993 case, Alfonso versus Fernandez, it was ruled that condom programs were unconstitutional. Many schools forbid kids from touching, hugging, and kissing in the halls, and policies say kids are not to have sex at schools, but now find it adequate to intrude into the domain of private choice and make condoms readily available in school? Public schools are academic institutions, not school institutions. Making condom readily available gives improper authority to schools and usurps parents' rights. The way a family chooses to teach their children about using contraceptives is a right the school cannot be involved in. Schools have the right to provide information about condoms and where to get them, but they should not distribute them at school. Thank you, and vote negative.